What if I told you that the exhaustion you feel from trying to show up everywhere online is not a time management problem, but a clarity problem? Here's a truth bomb. The influencers posting 5 times a day on every platform, they have full teams behind them. You're comparing your solo journey to somebody else's entire production crew. I'm about to give you permission to stop performing and posting everywhere and start showing up strategically somewhere. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly where that social somewhere is. You were called for more, to serve people, to create value, to live generously, and to follow Jesus with freedom. But right now, you are burned out posting everywhere. Hi, I'm Salime, and this is Freedom to Follow, your weekly 25 minutes to learn how to start from scratch, communicate what you do in a way that people actually understand, and to build simple digital assets that fund your calling without burning out your family or your faith. For over 20 years and across 3 continents, I've built online businesses and platforms that let me live into my calling. And I've helped hundreds of hermanas do the same with doable, actionable, step-by-step systems. Every week, over Cafecito, you'll get one clear plan, one small realistic action, and one metric to track so you can make measurable progress and start building a digital business that frees you to say yes to what God is asking. Everything we talk about today will be available at www.latinpreneurs.com. Yes, we rebranded and I'm so excited because I think this new platform will serve you better. So everything is available at www.latinpreneurs.com. Download the ultimate guide to your digital business, plus today's show notes and exercises, which are going to give you so much freedom. And if you stay with me to the end, there is a brand new surprise resource waiting for you that will help you turn clarity into paying clients. So stay with me. And now let's move forward from burnout to strategic posting, shall we? Today we're talking about something that's stealing your peace and probably your profits: platform overwhelm. You know that feeling when you open Instagram and you remember that you haven't posted on your YouTube channel in 2 weeks, and your podcast is behind schedule, and your TikTok followers haven't heard from you, and your Pinterest is basically a ghost town, and LinkedIn, let's not even talk about that. Yeah, that's a feeling. Here's what I want you to understand by the time we're done. You do not need to be everywhere. You need to be where your message breathes naturally and where your people actually gather. Let me paint you a picture. You're scrolling through Instagram at 10 p.m. because of course you are, and you see her. She posted a carousel at 6 a.m., a reel at noon, a story at 3 p.m. She went live on her YouTube channel at 5. Her podcast dropped this morning. She sent an email newsletter yesterday, and somehow she also found time to create a viral TikTok that now has over 200,000 views and counting. And you think, man, I am doing something wrong. No, mama, you're not doing something wrong. You're comparing your beginning to somebody else's full production team. Here's what the Instagram feed does not show you: her content manager who batches and schedules everything 2 weeks in advance, her video editor who cuts and uploads her YouTube content, her podcast producer who handles all the technical stuff, her copywriter who drafts her emails, her graphic designer creating all those beautifully branded templates. This is her full-time job with full-time help. But us? We're building a business while also parenting, while also managing a household, while also maybe working another job, while also trying to stay connected to our faith community and our actual real-life relationships. So when we try to match her output, we're not failing. We're just trying to do the job of 6 people by ourselves. And here's the sad part. What comparison is actually costing you? It's costing you your peace. You're constantly anxious about what you're not posting. It's costing you your presence. You're scrolling when you should be connecting. It's costing you your voice. You're trying to sound so like her instead of sounding just like you. It's costing you your message. You're so busy posting everywhere that you're not going deep anywhere. And it's costing you your money. I bet somewhere along the line that you bought that influencer's course that promised easy monetization if you just did it like her, except her strategy is not for solopreneurs. It's for full-blown production teams, and that little detail is never mentioned on the sales page. So you invested hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars into a system that was never designed for someone building alone. And now you feel like you're the problem because you can't keep up with a strategy that requires 6 people. Listen to me. Platform overwhelm is not about time management. It's about clarity. You do not need to learn to post faster. You need to learn where to post strategically. Now, it has happened to me. Let me get personal for a minute. In 2020, I was that person trying to be everywhere. I launched a YouTube channel because everybody said video was the future. I started a podcast because everybody said audio was intimate. I was on Instagram because, well, everybody was on Instagram. I had a Facebook page. I was trying to figure out LinkedIn. Heck, I even created a Pinterest account because somebody told me it was a secret to passive traffic. And you know what happened? Nothing. Well, not nothing, obviously. I was exhausted. My content was mediocre everywhere because I was spreading myself too thin. My engagement was terrible because I didn't have time to actually engage with my audience. And my platform was not growing because I was so busy creating content that I wasn't actually serving my clients. I was everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And I remember the exact moment that broke me. My son asked me to sit down with him and talk. And I said, bro, I need to finish editing this video first. And he said, you're always on your phone, mama. That literally hit so different because he was right. I was building a platform to have more freedom with my family, but instead I was more distracted than ever. That night after he fell asleep, I sat down, prayed, and asked myself, what am I doing this for? So the next morning I did something radical. Literally crazy. I quit everything except for Instagram and email. I unfollowed everyone that caused noise and I stuck to 2 platforms. That's it, 2 platforms, and not even posting 5 times a week. It was strategic content that maybe engaged a few hundred people, my people. I stopped chasing virality and started thinking about the long run. I started focusing on helping those 100 people who genuinely connected with my content. And here's what happened. My content got better because I had time to actually create quality instead of just churning out quantity. And there was not even AI there, which that's another whole subject for another different episode. It's just really bad. AI content is terrible. Please don't do it unless you do it strategically, which I can also teach you how to do. But for now, my content really got better because I was creating quality pieces to serve instead of just churning out quantity. My engagement increased because I had time to actually respond to comments and DMs. My platform grew because I was spending less time creating and more time actually serving. And my peace returned because I was not constantly anxious about why I wasn't posting or why I wasn't going viral. But most importantly, I actually found my voice. When I wasn't trying to adapt my message to 6 different platforms, when I wasn't trying to be the person who shows up on YouTube and the person who sounds good on podcast, when I just focused on being myself on the platforms that felt natural to me, that's when my message started to resonate. Because authenticity is not scalable across every platform, but depth is powerful in the right one. Now you know me, and we are about to get theological for 1 minute because this actually matters. 1 Corinthians 7:17, Paul says, each person should live as the Lord has assigned. It is as the Lord has assigned, not as Instagram culture has assigned, not as hustle culture has assigned, not as comparison has assigned. God gives you a specific gift, a specific message, a specific audience, and yes, even specific ways of communicating. Some of you are called to teach and you thrive in long-form content when you can clearly break down things. That might be YouTube or podcast or blog posts. Some of you are called to encourage and you shine in personal connection and community, and that might be on Instagram or Facebook groups or email. Some of you are amazing storytellers. I see you. You communicate through images and aesthetics. That might be on Instagram and Pinterest and TikTok. Some of you are networkers. You excel in professional spaces. You might be on LinkedIn. There is no universal assignment. God did not call you to be everywhere. He called you to be faithful where He has called you. Okay, now we're going to get very practical. I'm going to walk you through an exercise that will bring you so much clarity about your strategic platform. So before we start, I'm going to break down what each major platform is actually designed for. Because here's what I've noticed. A lot of us are choosing platforms based on what we think we should be doing, not understanding research-based on what these platforms are actually designed to do best. So I'm going to give you the real breakdown. I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to understand of each platform. Instagram is all about visual storytelling and building community through connection. This is where people want to see your face, your life, your process. They're not just looking for tips, they want to feel like they know you. So what really works here is reels, carousel posting that teach something, stories where you show up consistently and let people into your day by day. It is not the fastest platform to grow, but the connections here will be real. Time-wise, you're looking at a medium investment. You need to create videos, post regularly, and actually engage with people, and that actually takes time. YouTube is your long-form teaching platform. If you love breaking things down, explaining things thoroughly, teaching step by step, this is literally your place. The people who show up on YouTube are actively searching for solutions. They're typing in questions and they're willing to sit through a 20-minute video to learn. This is gold for you if you love teaching. But I'm going to be honest with you. YouTube takes time. Filming, editing, thumbnails, SEO, all of it. This is not a quick win platform, but if you commit to it, it will compound. Your videos will keep working for you years later. Email or newsletter. Listen to me, this is super important. Email is still the most powerful tool you have. I know, it's not sexy, it's not trending, but it converts better than anything else. Why? Because these are your warmest people. They literally are giving you permission to show up in their inbox. They want to hear from you. This is where you go deep. You get personal stories, vulnerable teaching, exclusive content, direct offers. Email is where transformation happens because you're not competing with an algorithm or a feed full of distractions, but it takes time to build. That's why you haven't heard from me through email, but that's why I'm creating all this content that you can download because I want to serve you. But the reality is that I don't have the time to send an email to you every week. I wish I could. I literally am praying about how to get closer to you because I literally want to serve you. The time investment though, again, it's pretty low if you have the time to do it once a week and send a personal email once a week. It works beautifully. Podcast. I love podcasts. Podcasting is about building an intimate parasocial relationship with your audience. They're hearing your voice in their ears while they're driving, working out, cooking dinner, and this creates a unique kind of trust. If you love having conversation, telling stories, processing out loud, podcasting might be your thing. It is 20 to 60 minutes of you just being yourself and serving your people. I think this is where I do things best. But let me be real. It is a time commitment. You need to record, edit, write show notes, distribute to platforms. It literally adds up. And if you're trying to think about monetization, it's going to take a lot of time. You'll eventually probably get sponsorships or you can use it to launch products, but you're building an audience first, and building an audience takes time. But the people who love podcasts are loyal. So if you're patient, this can be powerful. And if you're listening to me right now, I need you to know something. I want to know you. I want to help you. But literally, I do not know if you're out there or who you are. So please leave me a comment. Tell me if this is serving you. Give me a 5-star rating if this episode helped you, because those 5 stars are not for me. They're for so other hermanas can find this show and be helped too. So my deep desire is to serve you, but I can only do it if I know who you are. So let's make this relationship a little closer. I'm feeling a little lonely here. Please comment or contact me. I would love to hear you out. I'm also on Instagram. Okay, TikTok. TikTok is about quick value and discoverability. It is the fastest platform to go viral on because the algorithm will show your content to people who do not follow you yet. If you can teach something in 15 to 90 seconds, if you can make it engaging and fast-paced, if you're okay with keeping up with trends, TikTok can explode your reach. The time investment is medium. The videos are really quick to create, but you need to post consistently and stay aware of what is trending. LinkedIn is a professional network. If you're selling to other businesses, if you're offering consulting or corporate training, if you're positioning yourself as a thought leader in your industry, this is where you need to be. The people on LinkedIn are the decision makers with budgets. They're not scrolling for entertainment. They are professional development and business connections. You don't need to post there every day. A few times a week with some valuable insight and professional stories or industry commentary works really, really well. Pinterest is your visual search engine. It's not a social platform. People aren't there to follow you. They're there to plan and to search. Weddings, home projects, recipes, outfits, business strategies. They're typing in what they need and your pin shows up. This is perfect if you're like a blogger or you sell products because Pinterest drives traffic to your website where it actually converts. So the time investment is medium. You can batch create pins, but you do need to understand Pinterest SEO, and it's not super easy to understand. It is literally a learning curve. Facebook and Facebook groups. Facebook is community focused, and honestly, it skews a little older. Think about people 40 and up, but if that's your audience, Facebook groups are powerful. Groups create real community. People tend to have longer conversation, that ask questions, they support each other. If you love facilitating that kind of space, a Facebook group can be amazing. Just know that managing a group takes time. You're moderating and engaging and keeping a conversation going. Blogs. Blogging is SEO driven evergreen content. You write one article, you optimize it for Google search, and it keeps working for you for years. If you love writing, if you love research, if you're patient enough to play the SEO game, blogging can be incredible long-term traffic. We're talking 1,500 to 3,000 word articles that, answer specific questions people are searching for in Google. The time investment is super high, but it will compound. Now, these are the most important platforms right now, and I just need you to understand that none of these platforms are better than one another. They just are different tools for different goals and different ways of communicating. So the question is not which platform gets the most reach. Remember the last episode when we talk about the clarity of who you serve? You do not need to reach everyone. You need to go and look for people that are naturally connecting with a real you. So again, the question is not which platform is the best, but which platform matches how I naturally communicate and where my specific people actually spend their time. Because again, you can have millions of followers on the rock platform and still struggle financially, or you can have a few hundred deeply engaged people on the right platform and build a thriving digital business. We're going to figure out what your platform actually is. The first step is we need to know your communication style. You need to identify how you naturally communicate. So I want you to think, do you communicate best talking, writing, visually, or teaching? Be honest. I don't need you to think where you should be good at. I need you to choose what actually feels natural for you. Is it talking? Podcast, YouTube. Is it writing? Email, blog. Is it visual? Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok. Is it teaching? Facebook groups. But again, be honest. You're not sharing it with anyone but yourself, and we're trying to make your life simpler so that you can actually build a real digital business that actually gives you real money. Okay. Second, where do you actually enjoy serving? Not just posting, and this is game changer. Remember, this is not a posting content. A posting content contest. If all you're doing is posting for posting's sake and not strategically, you're going to lose in every single platform. So you need to think about, where do you actually enjoy serving? Posting is about broadcasting information, and remember, AI is broadcasting a ton of information that we don't actually care about. If you post for serving, you're going to create connection, and connection that brings transformation. So you need to ask yourself, which platform do I check because I'm genuinely excited to connect, not because I feel obligated to connect? Or where do I have the best conversations with my audience? Which platform makes me more energized? Where do I see most transformation for my people happening? Where do my people actually naturally gather? And then here's what most people get wrong. They try to force a message on the wrong platform, but the truth is that your message needs to match your medium. So if you're teaching complex strategies, Instagram stories are probably not your platform. Maybe YouTube or blog will serve your audience better. If you're building deep connection, Pinterest is probably not your platform. Maybe email, maybe Instagram would be better. If you're sharing quick encouragement and behind the scenes life, a podcast probably isn't your platform. It might be Instagram or TikTok. If you're networking for professionals, Facebook is probably not your platform. LinkedIn would serve your audience better. So don't try to make Instagram do what YouTube does best. Don't try to make email do what podcast does best. And definitely do not try to be everywhere just because you see others posting everywhere. Here's my advice, my strategic advice for my Latinpreneurs. Pick one platform and then a secondary one. Your primary platform is where you go deep, where you serve consistently, where you build real community. This is like your home base. And your secondary platform is where you redirect people into your primary platform, where you share snippets, where you create discovery. For me, my first podcasting is my first, so it will be Spotify. I also use Instagram, and then email is my secondary. Like my website is my secondary. That's it. I go kind of like try to go deeper or more real on my Instagram. I try to have real conversation, teaching moments, and I try to have authentic connection. And then I use podcasts to serve you well. And all of those build back into my website. I'm not on TikTok. I repost on TikTok, but I am not on TikTok. I'm not on Twitter or X. I am not trying to figure out Threads or whatever new platform launches next week. And you know what? I am thriving right now because I'm not spread too thin. I'm going like literally deep with you who are listening to right now. I know that you're thinking some objections. So let me address them, the ones that I hear all the time. But everybody says I need to be on TikTok or YouTube or LinkedIn or whatever. Everybody also said the same about Vine and Google Plus and Periscope, and all the platforms come to an end, but your message and your people don't. So build where you can actually serve, not where the trend tells you to show up. What if I'm missing out on potential clients? You know what's worst on missing potential clients? Exhausting yourself trying to be everywhere and ending up with mediocre content nowhere. That clients who are meant for you will find you when your message is clear and your presence is consistent. So stop freaking out about missing out on potential clients. That's just not a thing. I already have some followers on multiple platforms. Do I just abandon them? No, you redirect them. Post on those other platforms saying something like, hey, I'm consolidating my presence. You can find me now on Instagram or YouTube or wherever. Come join me here for deeper content and real conversation. You are redirecting them. And the ones who really resonate with your content, with your message, will follow you. And honestly, those are the really ones that you need, because those are going to be your actually paying clients. What if I pick the wrong platform? Then you'll learn, you'll adjust, and you'll pivot. This is not a lifetime commitment. You're not signing your soul out for anything. It's just strategic focus. But again, here's the thing. The wrong platform is better than 6 mediocre presences. At least you're in one platform. You're learning what works and what doesn't, and you're going to learn because you are not scattered. I want you to do this exactly this week. Do not just listen and forget, but actually do the exercise. Go to www.latinpreneurs. Again, we're rebranding. We're trying to figure out how to serve you better. I think that Latinpreneur is way more exciting than Salime Global. So go to www.latinpreneurs.com and go to the show notes, download them. They're free, and it will walk you through the step-by-step process that we went through so that you can learn where you should show up strategically. You will learn which one should be your primary platform, which one should be your secondary platform, and it will make things real. Now write it down, make it real, and commit for at least 90 days. I want you to commit to 3 months on focused presence on your chosen platforms. No sneaking back into other platforms, not just checking what everybody else is doing. Unfollow and get out of those platforms that do not serve you well, because I don't want you to be burned out. I want you to build something that is really fun for you to build, really exciting for you to build without being burned out. I want you to have financial freedom through a digital business that you love and that serves you well. So these platforms and being in every single platform is just going to burn you out. You're not going to be able to serve everybody well. So be faithful, be consistent, and decide those 2 platforms, the primary and the secondary, where you have decided to show up. And I promise you that 90 days of focused depth will create a lot more impact than 90 days of scattered posting across 6 different platforms, following everybody else's playbook. Remember, we are not trying to build a following. We're trying to find out where our paying clients really are, because that's how you build a digital business. I know that this feels countercultural. I know that the world is screaming at you more, and choosing less feels risky. So let me be clear about something right up front. The strategy that I am teaching, it will lead to more sales, not less sales, and more peace without platform burnout. But here's what most people won't tell you. Sales come from serving and connecting, not from entertaining and burnout. You think you need to be everywhere to make money, but what actually converts is deep relationships and consistent presence. People who trust you because they actually know you. And if you want to start building that, you need to choose your platforms wisely. That is why I'm teaching you this strategy, because it has worked hundreds of times. And peace is not found in doing more, it's doing what you were called to create, to do, and releasing what you're not. So you do not need to be everywhere. You just need to be faithful and strategic somewhere. Thank you for joining me today on Freedom to Follow. And I need to tell you one thing at last. Like, I need to know if this is actually helping you. If this episode gave you clarity, if it shifted something for you, if it finally made you feel like you have permission to stop posting everywhere, please tell me. Share this episode with a friend who needs to hear it. Leave a rating, drop a comment, send me a DM on Instagram, because here's the truth. If this is not connecting with you, if this is not serving you in the way that I hope, I need to know. I'm not here to create content that does not land. I'm here to actually help you build clarity, build a digital business, and walk with freedom. So again, let me know. And if it didn't, tell me that too. I want to know you. I want to know how to legitimately serve you, not just talk with you every week. So yeah, let me know. Send me an email. Go to www.latinpreneurs.com. Download all the resources. Download that surprise resource that I mentioned, the Voice Finder. If you've ever struggled to sound authentic online or explain what you do without feeling fake, this free guide is for you. So download it for free. It's in latinpreneurs.com. And let me know what you think. I want to serve you. Remember that this strategy is going to lead you to get more sales, not less sales, because sales come from serving and connecting, not from entertaining and burnout. Follow the show, rate it if it helped, and until next time, keep walking with Jesus, with freedom, with clarity, and without compromise. I am Salime, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.